So the E3 2021 Nintendo Direct has come and gone as we are well into July at the time of filming this video, and I do think that it's time to talk about when we can expect potentially the next Nintendo Direct to happen, and I wanted to look back at history to see if maybe we can expect some kind of fall presentation from Nintendo this year. What's up, Nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below, hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. As I mentioned, guys, we are having a conversation today around Nintendo Direct and the likelihood that we will see a September event take place, as Nintendo has done a very good job thus far in 2021 of outlining their roadmap, and we got a ton of huge game announcements at the E3 2021 Direct presentation. And since then, now that it's been more than a full month since we've sat through that event, we have not gotten a lot in the way of new announcements, as it is more media hyping up the games that, we already know to expect. And Nintendo did put out a really nice graphic that does show all of the games that we have to look forward to throughout the rest of 2021 that are announced right now, and then even a glimpse of what titles we can expect in 2022. And when I look at this lineup, I feel like it is a very strong lineup, but I also feel like there might be a room for one or two more games in that holiday 2021 time slot that are maybe not announced yet. And I do want to get into some speculation around a potential for a September Direct and what kind of game we might see fill the slot. As right now for fall of 2021, we have WarioWare Get It Together, Metroid Dread, Sonic Colors Remastered, Diablo 2 Resurrected, Life is Strange True Colors, Super Monkey Ball Mania, Guardians of the Galaxy for Marvel, and then you have the holiday lineup being Mario Party Superstars, the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes, Just Dance 2022, Shin Megami Tensei 5, Dragon's Dogma, and Advance Wars 1 and 2 Boot Camp. So, it's already a strong lineup, but I could argue, I think that we are missing a big blockbuster title. You can argue that the Pokemon games is that blockbuster title, and that is for an entire portion of the Switch fan base, but I think we're missing what we would normally have there, whether it be like a Donkey Kong or a Mario. But first, before we dive into all of that, I want to walk you guys through the history of Nintendo Directs, and specifically the last, separate from 2020, obviously being a strange year with COVID happening and it just really being, all the companies having to respond and figure out how to navigate that entire pandemic situation. Outside of that year, you have 2019, 2018, and 2017. Nintendo has always historically held a September Nintendo Direct, and I do think that 2021 we will see this happen again. Maybe if it's not September, it's at least a fall, like October Direct, but I do think September is the month that Nintendo picks, as it's like a last second hype up for the holiday season. If you weren't already going to go get a Switch, or maybe the Switch OLED that we obviously know to be dropping on October 8th, here's some games that are going to drive you in to go do that. Or, if you're somebody who is already an established Switch fan, that you might just have that much more reason to go buy the new Nintendo software. So I do think that it's very likely that this year follows the traditional formula of the last few years outside of 2020, which we did still get a Direct in 2020 in September. It just so happened to be a Mario 35th Direct, as that was Nintendo really saving their holiday 2020 lineup with the Mario titles, and then they even had to put one out to 2021 release, which was the Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. So it was definitely a crazy year for them, but outside of that, they've been consistent before that at having some kind of a fall presentation and a fall Direct, and I think that this year will be the year to get back on that schedule. Now, in terms of what games we may see announced, well, we might see a lot of things that are already around the corner, or maybe just updates on games that we do know that are out. I mean, this will be a Direct that you could potentially hype up the rest of the holiday games. Like, you could feature a Pokemon portion in there with deep dives into Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, or maybe they have a separate Pokemon Direct for that. I'm sure there will be some indie game presence and stuff like that, but as far as big headline titles that they could potentially unveil, I do think that heavily rumored Donkey Kong game is a real thing, and it may be further along than we realize. And it's totally possible that if Nintendo has something like the Mario Odyssey team working on this, and it's rumored to be a 2.5D Donkey Kong style game, but that is not a sequel to Tropical Freeze, it'll most likely drop the country line from all the rumors and leaks around it. So it won't be a Donkey Kong Country installment, it'll be kind of a new direction for the franchise. Although if it's 2.5D, you do have to argue it's not that 3D pivot that they could really revolutionize the series and give you like an open world or open, more Mario Odyssey style Donkey Kong, which I think would be incredible. But it may not be that big of a change, but it is definitely going to be a change, as it will be a new studio working on it from the Donkey Kong Country series, as Donkey Kong Country returns on the Wii and Tropical Freeze on the Switch and the Wii U. It's going to be in a completely different direction from everything we know. And I think if you're Nintendo, if you're kind of missing that one extra holiday game, and if they have that by some chance ready to go for holiday 2021, that would be the show closer for something like a Nintendo Direct in September. And I think if they, surprise us with the holiday release window and pump it up with trailers and media last minute, I think that game sells incredibly well, as a lot of fans, including myself, are definitely missing a Donkey Kong installment, and I think it's about time. Now, the other one that we could see that would be a real wild card, and now Zippo did claim, whenever he was leaking a bunch of stuff from the initial E3 Nintendo Direct, and while not all of that came true, a lot of it did, and one of the games that was on his list was a Mario Kart 9, or at least something new in the Mario Kart franchise. And I really think that it's time. I mean, you can argue that Nintendo is still selling Mario Kart 8 Deluxe hand over fist, and why would they actually put out a sequel to it? But those sales will die off eventually. I mean, it may have another 6 to 12 months of long life of really great sales, and there's a chance that Nintendo literally could have a Mario Kart sequel basically done and ready to go, but they're waiting to see that dip in sales before they release it. But I do think that that's another one that if they decided to put it out and have a Mario Kart 9, or my personal hope is that it would be a Double Dash 2, or maybe they call it Mario Kart 9, but it has that Double Dash mechanic from the GameCube. Because if you guys never played through that one, that's still to this day my all-time favorite Mario Kart game, just for the simple mechanic of how it works with comboing characters together and the item strategy and everything that goes into that game. It's by far and away my favorite in the entire franchise. But I think it's time for Nintendo to give us some kind of information on a new Mario Kart installment. And so I think that, it's not probably the most likely to be at something like a September Direct, as I do think that will be more of a holiday 2022 game if they do unveil it. Maybe it's the next year's E3 game, but it's one that's just going to print money for Nintendo. And, all the people who are still buying Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, if they're that into that franchise, they will most likely turn around and buy the new one that they unveil. I know that they don't want to cut off the sales of that game early, but to say it's early is kind of crazy to begin with, because this originally released on the Wii U in May of 2014, which is like so long now. It's just insane that Nintendo hasn't had to really do anything major other than some DLC packs, and then obviously just repackaging it on the Switch and labeling it the Deluxe and including the DLC into that game. I mean, they haven't done any real from the ground work up on a Mario Kart installment in all of these years, so it's definitely time for a Mario Kart. I certainly hope that if we do see a fall direct, maybe by some miracle we get a trailer. But as I said, I would really hold on my hope for that game to be more of a 2022 title at this point. From there, you have games that fans are really waiting for more information on that are already officially announced. And I think that a September Direct would be a perfect time to focus on something like Bayonetta 3 gameplay footage and show us what the game is really looking like on the Switch and what the world is going to have to offer, as we know that has to be nearing completion and development at this point. It's just been in development too long for it not to at least be making some sort of progress. And every time anybody asks the developers for an update, they're almost like angry at this point, because they just said wait and sit tight and see what we have to offer, but stop asking us about it. We're working on the game, it'll be ready when it's ready. So I think that a fall direct makes sense to at least focus on Bayonetta 3. Splatoon 3 is another big one. Fans want more information on that, as we do know it is a 2022 title and we don't have very much to go off as far as the actual gameplay of the game and what everything's going to look like. So again, some extra major hitter games that could be focused on an event at a September Direct. And then my big personal hope would definitely be for the surprise announcement of any kind of new Zelda games coming to the Switch. The ones I definitely think are the most likely are the Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD. And while it might be a little bit early to announce something like that in a fall direct, they could very well split these two titles up, as I do think it's a very Nintendo-like thing to sell them at $60 each individually. And they might release something like Wind Waker HD as a holiday 2021 game, and then say that Twilight Princess HD will be coming in spring of 2022. They could easily spread that out. One of them might be a summer game, especially if Breath of the Wild 2 does end up being a end of 2022 game, like we are kind of expecting it to be at this point. But there's a lot of surprises that Nintendo could still unveil, and with the success of the Switch Switch and them having a new revision on the market that's very controversial, of course, because it doesn't have the upgrades that a lot of Nintendo fans wanted, but I think that's the only revision we get for a while, at least at this point, you know. So I do think that Nintendo has a lot of momentum going, and they can definitely bring out more franchises and more heavy hitters that they haven't announced yet, and something like a September Direct in 2021 could still be a surprise event that really blows us away. I don't think it'll be as big as the E3 2021 type stuff, but I do think we could get 1 or 2 titles still that are totally unannounced that are maybe close to ready to go for a holiday 2021 release. But at this point in the video, guys, I want to know all your thoughts and opinions on everything we talked about today. Do you think that we're going to see Nintendo go on a September Direct this year, or do you think that there's simply probably not enough done yet to show us more, and maybe there's no extra games coming like I'm thinking that there may be? I mean, do you guys think that Nintendo's just already stacked and ready to go for this holiday 2021, or do you think we could see some surprise releases or announcements of something like Donkey Kong or Mario Kart sequel or Zelda Games, like, you know, the 35th anniversary really didn't get celebrated upon, so it might not be part of that necessarily, but we might still get some ports brought over from the Wii U. So please share all your thoughts on that in the comments down below before you leave the video today. Thanks so much for watching the video today, everyone. I do truly appreciate you all sticking around until the end. I do at this point in the video want to invite you all one more time to join Sunbro Nation if you haven't done so already. Do so by subscribing below, hit the like button on your way out if you enjoyed it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. That's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you all have a great day. Sunbro Nation, out.